Everyone. Very good evening. And today we are here for the webinar of OSINT. So let me start with my introduction. My name is ASHISH and I've been working with InfosecTrain as a trainer. And it's been decent amount of time that I have been into the field of cybersecurity. Before that, I was working into the data science and machine learning field. Then I changed my field. So I did a couple of certifications from EC Council. You pick up the certification. I have that. From ComShare, maximum of certifications I have. From EC Council, if I talk about, so the last certification of EC Council that is there, it's CPENT, and with CPENT, if you score more than 90%, so you will get LPT Master. So I have both of those. Then I have done OSCP as well, the offensive security certified professional. That certification also I have done. So I'm working into the offensive side of the security more. I have some certifications from the defensive side as well, because I wanted to just learn about the defensive side of the security. So I did the certifications like security plus. I did certified network defender. Then I wanted to know how forensics people they find out the traces. So I did CHFI as well. And then I wanted to know into just the managerial thing, how the incident is managed and how the things happen. So I did incident handler, the ECIH certification also, right? But I'm more into the offensive side of the security. So at InfosecTrain, all the offensive side certifications and trainings related to mobile pen testing, web application penetration testing, application security, network penetration testing, active directory penetration testing, red teaming, advanced penetration testing, all of them I take care of all those trainings. Those are some custom trainings. And apart from that, the certifications like CPENT, CH, Security Plus, some basic certifications as well. So I take care of all those certifications at InfosecTrain, right? So that's a bit about me, right? Now we'll be starting with the with our webinar of OSINT, right? Now, the agenda for today's webinar is we'll be learning about the key concepts of OSINT, that what is OSINT, how it came, and how we perform the OSINT, why we perform the OSINT, the importance and benefits of OSINT we'll be talking about. Then I'll be showing you some of the tools that you can use in your work if you are working into the security domain, so that you can use those tools to find out the information. If you are doing black box pen testing, you can use those tools. So all those things we'll be looking at, maximum of tools as the time allows. So let's start with our webinar, right? The first thing is OSINT, right? As we all know that OSINT stands for open source intelligence, right? So when we are talking about OSINT, right? OSINT, it stands for open source intelligence, and it involves gathering and analyzing publicly available information, right? So when we have publicly available information, right? So we have different websites, different tools we have to gather the information. Like, even if you want to find out email of someone, so at that time you can use different tools, right? So it is production of intelligence through the collection and enrichment of publicly available information. So when we talk about publicly available information, that means any data that is available for public access without the use of secret clearance or intrusion into a system, right? Yeah, it may include that there is a data behind a paywall, or like there is newspaper subscription, so you have to take newspaper subscription to find out the information, right? There may be some tools that are paid, right? So that you can gather the information from them. So there may be a paywall, but still the data can be gathered from all the sources, right? Now you can gather the data from the internet, right? The social media, mainstream media, publications, subscriptions, audio, imagery, and videos, right? So it is important to note that OSINT, it is a passive method of intelligence collection, right? Now when I'm talking about the passive method of intelligence collection, right? So whenever I'm taking the name intelligence, what do you think what this intelligence mean? Why we are calling it intelligence? Why I'm not calling it information? So when we are talking about the intelligence, guys, whenever we are working into this side of the security, right? So like as into the offensive side of the security, even or even into the defensive side of the security, where you need intelligence, right? There are people who are working into the threat intelligence domain, threat hunting they are doing. So they need intelligence. Now, whenever we are working uh, from the perspective of security, so we think that we are smart enough that any information we get, we can find out fruitful data out of it, right? We can find out useful information out of it, right? That's why we call it intelligence instead of information only, right? Now, as I said, that OSINT, it is passive, right? So there are techniques, right, that you learn and that you know, which is active, right? So first thing, OSINT is different. Information gathering is there, right? Which you call reconnaissance as well. Now, information gathering is of two types, right? Passive and active. Now, what can be passive, what can be active, and why OSINT is passive? Active means that whenever you are gathering information actively, it means that your information, whatever information you are finding out, you are directly interacting with the target. Now, let's say I want to find out information about the structure of the organization, the infrastructure of the organization, right? Now there is an organization. Now what I'm doing, you guys might have heard about tool like nmap, right? Used for scanning, right? It is also giving you the information, right? Now I'm sending probes from my device to the target organization's IP or the domain name, and I'm finding out open ports. Isn't it a kind of information gathering? I will say that the uh, information that I got after doing the scan, it says port number 80 is open, 443 is open, and 139 and 445 is open. So, isn't it a information? I am getting getting the information, right? But how I am getting this information? I am getting this information by actively communicating with the target, by sending some flags, by sending some data to the target, and then when the target replies back, I'm analyzing that information, and then I'm saying that these ports are open, and I'm finding out the next step, that how we will be hacking into the organization and everything, right? So that is also information that we are getting, right? Now, when we are using that information, right, for further purpose, right, that becomes intelligence, right? So we have three things. We have data, right? We have information, and we have intelligence, right? So when I'm talking about data, right, data is the raw format, right? So whatever you get, it is in raw format. It's not visualized properly. It's not the things are not proper, right? You cannot understand anything, right? So that is data, right? This is raw form, right? Then it becomes information, right? That it is giving you some information. Let's say I'm writing uh, right. So this is just data. When I'm saying that this is What? These are the dates. So now you understood that 9th of 5th month, May and 2023, right? That is your information, right? These are dates. Now it becomes information. And then I'm telling you that on these dates, there were webinars of InfosecTrain, right? So now it is intelligence. So that is the meaning of data, information, and intelligence. Now, when we are talking about OSINT, right? OSINT, it sounds like whenever a person is new to this field and they get to know about OSINT, that OSINT means that finding out the information, right? So why you need information, right? You will think that it will sound like career path for only those people with a military or intelligence background, right? Like someone is working with the CBI or something like that, correct? Now the thing is, many well established analysts, they originate from different fields, right? Like many job descriptions and the field they in the OSINT, right? They incorporate OSINT, right? Like journalism, intelligence like CIA, NSA, FBI, government, armed forces, business, right? Education, right? Like training and private investigation, security assessments. So everywhere you need open source intelligence, right? Now, if you want to find out or if you want to gather information and you are working into OSINT and you are an OSINT analyst, right? What are the different qualities or skills you will need, right? You should be curious, you should be detail oriented, it should be structured and organized, right? You should have the quality of active listening, right? Written or verbal skills. You should be a critical thinker and it should have a methodology, right? Communication should be perfect. You should have technical interest. You should be creative, self motivated, right? So people who are interested in the career of OSINT, they might feel that it isn't a possibility for them because they lack the technical skills, right? But you will if you start learning, right? Technical skills are the things that anyone can learn if you step ahead, right? Now the thing is, when we are talking about OSINT, right? The past, right? So I'll go over a brief history of OSINT, right? So it's been used in various forms by the US intelligence community. Like it's been more than 50 years that they are using. So in 1941, President Roosevelt, right? He established the Foreign Broadcast Monitoring Service, FBMS, during World War II, right? And the primary task for FBMS was recording, transcribing, and translating shortwave propaganda broadcasts for military reporting. Right. So after there was an attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, the FBMS grew in importance and was renamed the Federal Broadcast Information Service. And after World War II, Harry S. Truman, he created the Central Intelligence Group. Right. And then up until 1990s, the FBI's was primarily used for monitoring and translating foreign news resources, analyzing propaganda, and all those things, right? So it provided critical information to military during the Cuban Missile Crisis and all throughout the Cold War during the initial reporting and the on the Soviet removal of missiles from Cuba, right? So from there, OSINT has started. Now, decades passed with no major changes to OSINT, even during the US attack on 9/11. Nothing shifted until the social media boom of mid 2000. right? The FBI is collected what was the time considered OSINT, but this open source data was not collected or used as the same way as we do it today, right? So that's a bit information, the history of OSINT, right? Now, if we talk about the present, right? So as the mobile phone and social media use, it continues to flourish, right? We have been afforded new and unique ways to harvest open source data, right? There are platforms nowadays, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and different Facebook or different platforms are there, right? So users, they upload huge amounts of data of theirs, and they want to share the data, right, with everyone, right? But they don't know that this much of data which is shared, that it can reveal lots of information about them, right? So maps and satellite imagery have grown exponentially more accurate and accessible, which allows the users to uh, access previously classified technology and emphasize the like it's been placed on security and privacy, leading to the mainstream, right? So nowadays, like right now we are using web, and it's web 2.0, right? 3.0 has also been introduced. So when 2.0 started, the field of wasn't expanded, right? So there are five main disciplines in wasn't, right? So when I'm talking about those things, let me just write them here. Human, SIGent, right? IMENT, MASCENT. So these are five ints, right? Human is the collection of information from human sources, right? Whenever I'm asking the information, like it's not that only the technology should be used. I want to find out information about any person, that if this person lives here, if this person, how this person is, what he does, where he works. If I'm asking information from a human, from a neighbor of yours, that is human, right? Great. So it consists of electronic transmissions which are collected by your ships, planes, ground sites, or satellites, right? So from the information that you are getting from signals, that is SIGINT, right? Or SIGINT. Then IMINT, image intelligence. Intelligence you are getting from images, right? And it includes GEOINT. What is GEOINT? Geospatial intelligence, right? From satellites and all, where you are, from where you are, you use Google Maps, right? Or you use Google Earth. From there also you can find out information, right? Now whenever I want to find out information, right, let's say I want to find out information from Google Maps, what kind of information can I find out? Street view, right? Now if I want to do physical attack on any organization, right, or any place, I want to get inside the organization, right, physically, right? But I don't want to get detected, I don't want to get captured in their cameras, the CCTVs. So using Google Maps I can find out that where there is a camera, or Google Earth will help me that where there are cameras, so that I will not go in that place, right? That is what I can do, right? Then you have Mascent. What is Mascent? So Mascent does what? It includes the advanced processing and use of data gathered from overhead and airborne IMINT and signalant connection collection systems, right? So whatever information you are getting from signals, right? So that information should be processed. Yes or no? So if you are processing that information, that comes under MASINT. And then OSINT. So OSINT is what? Array of information and sources that are available, generally available, right? Information from the media, right? Information from a professional, academic records, public data, right? So due to the advancement in satellite technology, analysts now they have access to open source satellite imagery at a resolution which is previously unseen by civilians, but now they have, right? And that is the OSINT in real, right? Great. So this is OSINT in basically, right? Now, next thing, what we have importance and benefits of OSINT, how it helps you. If you are doing OSINT, why you are doing it, and how it is helping you. Now, OSINT, it gives you valuable information about the organization's competitors, industry trends, market opportunities. So if you have a fashion brand and you are using the same, you are selling the same clothes from 2005. So will your business boom or will your business grow? No, right? It won't. And why it should? Because people are living in 2023 and you are selling the product of 2005, right? So the competitors that you have, what they are doing, what different you can do, and what are the trends going on in the market, right? What are the opportunities of clothing in the market, that also you can find out, right? And like if we go non-technically, even then you need OSINT, right? Then it can help the law enforcement and intelligence agencies to identify and track criminal or terrorist activities if something happening, right? Then it is a cost effective way of gathering information, right? Because it relies on publicly available sources rather than uh, expensive proprietary data. So there is not too much of expenditure. Maybe there is some expenditure on the tools that you will use while you are gathering the information. So that is also not too much costly, right? Then it can also help the organization to find out the potential threats to their security, any cyber attacks that can happen, or physical breaches, or you can find out information about the latest threats, right? Like threat hunting happens, threat intelligence is gathered. So what are the possible threats and what are the new threats in the market, so that you can also check into your organization that what all threats are there, and if this threat that is there, if it can harm me or not, right? Then it can be used to monitor social media and online forums for discussion of security threats or risk, right? You can upload your information. Like there are many threat intelligence platforms, like Microsoft, they have their own platform. They write the blogs for the latest threats if they are there, right? So open source intelligence can be found from there as well. It will help you to identify and track the spread of disinformation and fake news, right? It is it can be used by journalists or researchers for investigating sensitive topics or controversial topics, right? Now, it can be used to monitor the activities of activist group or political organizations, right? Then OSINT can help identify trends and patterns in public opinion, sentiments, behavior, right? It can help identify emerging threats to public health and safety. Now, how else OSINT can help? if you are taking services from someone, right? Let's say there is InfosecTrain, right? InfosecTrain is taking services from someone, right? So at that time, be it that the security of InfosecTrain is very good, right? The security is very nicely implemented. Uh, no one can find out the vulnerabilities in the website or somewhere very easily. But if we are taking services from someone, there may be potential vulnerabilities with the business partners or the supply chains, right? So those vulnerabilities can also be found, right? And those information about that organization can also be found, right? So that's why it is a very valuable tool for intelligence analysts and the researchers who are researching and studying the global security issues, right? You can track the activities of individuals or groups of interest, right? So overall, if we talk about OSINT, it is a valuable and versatile tool that can be used across many different domains to support decision making, risk management, threat assessment, and all those places it can be used, right? Then the next thing that we have is OSINT framework, right? Now, when we are talking about OSINT framework, so you can see different things here, right? What OSINT framework does, right? This framework provides you all the tools, all the platforms where you can find out information, right? So if I open the OSINT framework, this is your OSINT framework in front of you, right? Now, what I can do with this OSINT framework, if I want to find out usernames, right? I'll click on username search engines, right? I'll open that and you can see name check tool, name checker, right? What's my name? That's them. Check usernames, name checkup, right? Instant username search. So wherever there is T written, T means it is a link to a tool, right? That you can use, that you can install and run locally, right? Google Doc. And like it's written M, so it means it is a URL that contains the search term and URL itself must be edited manually, right? And if you are searching for any information about IP, let's say I want to find out about IPv4. So lots of things are there. I want to find out email addresses, right? I want to do the email search. Lots of things are here. Email to address. R is written. R means this website requires registration. So whenever we are searching for any information, right? So the first thing that we have is Google, right? Let's say uh, I'm doing what? I'm searching for any information about any person, right? Now I'm searching for, let's say, Deepika Rajoli, right? So I got how many results? 1,44,000 results, right? Now, what we have, whenever we have this thing, right? So we get three results, right? Like three parts of a result, right? The top one is known as URL, right? The second one in blue, this is known as title. And the last one in gray, it is known as text. And these are known as Google Docs, right? And Google Docs, they have a huge database, right? So if I'm searching for, let's say, Deepika, so I can write in text and Deepika. So 1,02,000 results, right? Then if I write in title, 48,000 results only, right? What if I write in URL? 7 results, right? So it looks like that we are narrowing down our search. Yes or no? We are narrowing down our search parameter, right? So if I show you GHDB, Google Hacking Database, so it has all the Google Docs present, right? You can pick up the docs from here. You can use them in your daily search, right? So it means that you are efficiently searching the Google. You know how to search Google, right? Efficiently. Now it is maintained by exploit database. Exploit database is what? Exploit database is something, it has every single exploit that is present out there in the public. Every single database is there, right? And that's why we have exploit database. So ex- exploit database also has the database for Google hacking, right? So it takes care of that database. Now, this is Google Doc, right? You can create your own docs, right? How? Let's say I want a movie, right? The movie is Titanic, and the site I want to download it from drive.google.com. So it showed me all the drives which has all the drives having the movie Titanic. Click on it, download it, done. Don't do it ever because you don't know which Google Drive has malware in it, right? Though Google Drive does not allow uploading the malware, but maybe it is obfuscated, right, or encoded. So that's why. But you can refine your search like this, right? If you want to find out information about any organization, let's say you want to find out information about InfosecTrain, so you can do who is lookup, right? So if I write let's say infosectrain.com and do the search, right? So it gave me the information about the registrar, where when it is registered, when it is expiring, right? The registrant contact or administrative contact, the technical contact, right? So all that information is given by who's. Now there is one more website which is very famous. It is with the name Netcraft, right? And when I use Netcraft, I can search for the DNS, right? If I search for, let's say, infosectrain.com, right? And I'm doing the search. So I got 3 sites for InfosecTrain, like different things. Now here it is giving me the operating system as well. Isn't it a good amount of information that you got to know that our target is using Linux at the backend? So you know all the commands of the Linux, and if you get to know any kind of vulnerability in Linux, you will just quickly exploit it, isn't it? Now, if I click on this view site report, right? Now I'm getting more information, right? So the description, like certification course provider, learn ethical hacking, pen testing, application security, cloud security, network security, and many more, right? The Netcraft risk rating you are also getting. So if you get a website and you are confused that whether to visit that website or not, even then you can open that website in the Netcraft, and it will give you the information that yes, this website is something having some risk rating, so don't visit it. Even if the website is having a risk rating of 1, don't visit it, right? Then the name server, you are getting the IP address, IPv4 address you are getting, right? IP delegation, SSL, TLS, right? The hosting history, so hosting history gives you the web server that is being used, so it is Apache. Again, information you are getting, right? The web trackers, all the technologies, the server side technologies, client side technologies, mobile technologies that are used, all of them you are getting the information, right? That's what you can use for finding out the information, right? Then what else can you use? Now there is a tool which you can use. Great. Now there is a tool in Linux which is with the name Spiderfoot, right? So for starting that tool, I will Spiderfoot hyphen L 127.0.0.1 5000, right? Now Spiderfoot is hosted. I'm just showing you that how it looks like, right? This is the page of Spiderfoot, right? If I want to do a scan, I will do a new scan, just name the scan, let's say webinar, right? And the target, right? Docs.com. And you can specify what kind of search you want, right? If you won't get anything and everything about the target or footprint, understand what information this target exposes to the internet, or you want to investigate best for when you suspect the target to be malicious but need more information, and passive when you don't want the target to even suspect that they are being investigated, right? So it will do what? Spiderfoot gives you a very nice idea that what all information is available about you online, right? And if it is available, then what you can do with it and how the information is useful for you. So what it will do, it will basically create a graph for you, and that graph you can analyze and you can see the different parts that what subdomains are connected to the company directly and which users are connected to the original domain directly, what all things are there, right? So that is what it does, right? So when it will start finding out the information, it takes time like 15, 20, 30 minutes to gather the information, right? So it found the domain name right now, right? So in the graph, it's insufficient data right now. It will start creating the graph once it has the sufficient information about you, right? So while it is creating the graph for you, right, let me show you some more websites, right? You can use built with to find out the information about the technology of the website, that how the technology and what technology is used, right? So if I write, let's say tesla.com, right? So it gave me the technology profile of tesla.com, analytics and tracking, Akamai, Impulse, right? Crazy Egg, no before, Google Analytics, Google Site Tag, Apple Whitelist, Bugcrowd, it is present there, right? French, Spanish, all the languages are present, right? One trust domain verification, mobile non-scalable content, right? So it gave me lot of information about the target, right? Then if you see the relationship, so the type ID first detected on these dates, so it is having relationship with these domains, right, or subdomains, right? So that can be used, right? Now same like that, I have one more thing, which is with the name Webalizer. Now, if you can see that there is a sign here, an icon, right? This is the icon of Webalizer. Now, I'm using it as an extension. So, why extension? Any website I open, right? Let's say I'm opening just a test website, right? So, whatever website I will open, it will calculate and find out the information about it, right? So, let's say I open the page of InfosecTrain, right? So you can see that it's written 22 here. So it got all the information that what are the things used, what all technologies are used for creating this website, right? This is one thing which you can use. The tools, there are others as well, like Harvester, right? I don't really use Harvester, right? Because more than that, if you want to harvest the information about like emails, right? So there is one more snow.io, right? So this will give you a decent amount of information, right? So that you can get the information very easily, right? So what we have, you want to do email search, right? Or you want to do domain search, let's say, right? Bulk email search, right? Give the domain name. Let's say I'm giving infosectrain.com, right? Let's see what information it finds out for you, right? So it gave you all the emails, right? So it is not showing the emails, but it has all the emails and it gave you the name of all the people who are working in InfosecTrain, right? So this is one other thing that you can use for finding out the information, right? That is your OSINT framework, right? There are lots and lots of tools available, right? Even you can find out the information from the tools like they are available on GitHub, right? So if I do, there is a tool with the name Eagle OSINT, right? So this tool will help you in doing the reconnaissance. Let's say I want to do user recon. So I will choose the first option. It is asking that give the username, right? Now, let me give the username as Mukesh, right? So it will try to find out information and all the websites where the names and the uh, accounts with the name Mukesh are present, right? That it will give, right? And also we have our Spiderfort running side by side, and it created the graph a very decent amount of information it gave me. The one that is in between, that is your domain, and the connected ones, mx2.mdocs, right, www2.mdocs, right, monportal.mdocs, right, ns1mdocs.com, and inmail.mdocs, right, pune-portal.mdocs. So every information it find out, right? All the domains, right? If you go to the summary, so you can see that email addresses, few percent, internet name, most of the information, raw data from APIs, most of the information it found. So it will keep on running and it will keep on making the graph more dense, right? So these are some of the tools that you can use for finding out the information, right? So if you follow the OSINT framework, You will get all the tools in there, right? So this was it for the webinar, guys.